I'm really looking forward to these next 2 weeks because there's something sneaky that's going on right after this one. You got Sunday Night Football this week, and I think you were just poking around with it. If you go deep into the metrics of defense in the NFL, one team that keeps showing up that you wouldn't necessarily think of is the Cleveland Browns, and it's the 49ers' next opponent after the Dallas Cowboys. So whatever questions sit there right now with regard to Brock, with regard to I need to see more, with regard to are you just going to score 33 every single game? Is this just what you're doing every single time out? Like Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, back-to-back weeks. And if they can navigate that and the offensive output continues to be something similar, then I think you're a runaway train.
If you can get to that Purdy 30 mark over the next two, now we're talking about a real offensive juggernaut.
Yes.
Dallas is giving up 10 and a quarter points a game, and Cleveland's only giving up 15 a game. Cleveland's giving up the fewest yards and the lowest yards per play and the fewest first downs. Myles Garrett is nasty.
Here's the thing about Dallas's defense, and we've got all week long, okay? I think they're good. They already were good. They were good last year. There's no doubting how good they are. But when I look at defenses, and I guess you could to a degree make this case about the 49ers too. In the NFL, I want to know, what quarterback did you face? Who'd you face? Okay, this is who Dallas has got so far.
Okay.
Daniel Jones.
Tier 3.
Zach Wilson.
Tier 11.
Nice.
Sorry.
Joshua Dobbs.
Tier 3.
And Mac Jones.
Jeez.
Exactly.
Tears of a clown.
So whatever test this is for the 49ers, it is for Dallas too.
Yeah.
These defenses have not faced a very good offense yet.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
So the Niners and Cowboys have both faced Dobbs and Daniel Jones. The Niners faced a Saquon-less Giants team.
Right.
The Dallas had to play Saquon.
Correct.
And then the Niners faced Kenny Pickett.
And Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford would be the class of that group.
No doubt. But he also had the best performance against either of these defenses.
Yeah.
Like he had it going there for a second, and they put up 23 points. And if that interception off the hands didn't happen, who knows how that game would have gone. So that's what we're about to find out. And that's a good thing. The Niners are obviously ready for this test. And that's not to say if they get through these next two, it's an automatic 17-0. But you start to look at the defenses that are out there, the balance that a team creates. Like, for instance, last week, it was really fun to start to daydream about a 49er Dolphins Super Bowl. Yesterday is why the Dolphins aren't there yet. And I never want to make it about 1 week. It's a bigger picture.
Well, especially that week.
Yeah, the Dolphins are a very good football team, and their creativity and the weapons that they throw at you offensively are second to none, maybe only to the 49ers. But their defense is not a Super Bowl defense. Like, if you're a good offense, you will score on Miami all day long. And it's what Josh Allen did. It's what the Niners did to them last year when Brock Purdy got thrown into his first game as an NFL player. So, Miami's good, but I still have them. To me, they're a little bit below the Buffaloes and the Kansas Cities of that conference.
Buffalo is complete, and Buffalo should be the AFC favorite, honestly. If you look at who's the most complete team, Kansas City's offense is a little bit, I won't say it's shaky, but they don't have the same level of weaponry that we're used to seeing, and their defense is better. Kansas City's offense used to be by far the best unit, and then the defense was the liability. Now their two units are a little bit closer in proximity to one another. Buffalo, to me, is the team, and I said this last week, they can beat you 48-20. They can also beat you 10-7. That defense can be very, very good, and their offense can be explosive, especially at home.
I don't know what happened on opening night, but Buffalo since then has had 3 football games, and the other team has been embarrassed and blown out of the building all 3 times. Raiders, Commanders, Dolphins, and we're talking 3-4 touchdown victories just about each and every time. By the way, you mentioned Buffalo should be the favorite. Have you taken a look at the updated Super Bowl odds?
No, I have not. I have not.
What do you think it looks like? Where do you think Buffalo is?
Wow, Buffalo's got to be either they're in the top 3. I mean, updated Super Bowl odds?
Yeah, I got them right in front of me.
I'd be hard-pressed to not see it go Philly, Buffalo, Niners in that order.
You think Philly remains the Super Bowl favorite?
I figured they would have to be, right? Considering, where they are, and they are defending NFC champs, and they're undefeated.
The favorite to win the whole thing.
The whole kit and caboodle?
The whole shebang is your San Francisco 49ers.
As the Niners now. Wow, okay.
Plus 500. The 49ers are the favorite. Kansas City is number 2, plus 550.
Interesting.
The Eagles
That's
are
the
third.
Taylor Swift effect.
I had no doubt.
All the Swifties are pouring the money in.
I mean, the Chiefs are obviously still good, but if you really want to dive into their first 4 games, like really dive in,
yeah,
they looked awesome once, and it was against the Bears. And everybody looks awesome against the Bears.
Yeah, boy.
Okay? They struggled last night. Mahomes coulda, shoulda had 3 picks. That game went down to the final second. They lost at home to the Detroit Lions. And their other win was the one at Jacksonville, right? Super low-scoring game, grinded out type of a deal. They're not on all cylinders yet. They may get there. But I'm with you. I think Buffalo looks the best, and they're coming in as the 4th favorite at plus 700. Dallas rounds out the top 5 at plus 900. Obviously, the team that has careened off of the board that was originally there is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, the dirty natty.
The Bengals are down to plus 3,300 and have fallen behind the likes of the Jags, Browns, and Chargers in the Super Bowl odds.
Man.
How about that?
That's a bit shocking.
Yeah.
Before we go to the phones, you had mentioned this before the break about the Niners defense and why people are maybe a little less thrilled or more nonplussed about it than the stats and the metrics would indicate. And the reason why I think that that's the case is, for one, your DPOY is not putting up eye-popping stats in a DPOY fashion. Now, I do think it's interesting that if you look at pressure percentage, they are about 10th or 11th at 21.6%, which is good. But the other thing about this defense, Mark, is they are very good at bend but don't break. They are number 3, I think, in the league, in number 4. Actually tied for 3rd, I'm sorry, in missed tackles. This defense does not miss tackles. They play not soft defense, but they play off knowing that they're going to rally up and they're going to make the plays that are needed to be made. They don't take the ball away a lot. I think they have 5 takeaways on the season, and they've got 9 sacks over the course of 4 games. So the thing that gets people excited about a defense, it's not sturdy run control and 3 and outs.
Right.
It's sacks, picks, and hits. And sacks, they a lot of pressures. Picks, not so much yesterday. And hits, oh yeah, they will hit you. And they'll even get hit after the game.
I wonder if this does anything for you. I know in our age of analytics, sometimes we dive deep into numbers and people want to scoff or even get angry because they're like, right, thank you. They're hanging their big guy. But we dive into the numbers and you're like, well, wait a minute. I'm watching the games. I can see that Nick Bosa's got 1 sack.
Yeah.
What are we paying for 1 sack?
It's a shame.
And then you go to the PFF grades for top-rated pass rushers in the NFL.
All right.
Does it do anything for you?
The PFF grades?
Anything. Does it do anything for you?
It does a little bit for me.
Okay. Do you know where Nick is?
In the PFF grades, he's probably number 1 or 2.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Number 1 in the entire NFL. This also,
and I get it.
This is both maybe encouraging or terrifying. Micah Parsons is not the top-rated pass rusher on his team.
On his team?
He is not the second.
He is not.
Rated pass rusher on his team. He is not the 3rd rated pass rusher on his team.
Come on, PFF. What are you doing?
He's the 4th rated pass rusher on his team, yet he also is in the top 20. The Cowboys have 4.
I believe it.
4.
I'm looking
at
the numbers here, and they have 14 sacks, which puts them tied for 4th in the National Football League with a higher pressure percentage than the Niners and a lot more hurries, and all the rest of it. So, and I tried to watch the game again today with an eye on Bosa, because when I watch the offense, I'm into personnel groupings and watching what Kyle does with that beautiful laminated spreadsheet. But when I watch the defense, I try to watch the Bosa effect.
Yeah.
And I'm looking here, 1st and 10, holding. Oh, they held on Bosa.
Exactly.
Because you got to hold the guy. I think they had 2 holding penalties. He was offside once, if not twice. Armstead lined up in the neutral zone, but the defense played relatively clean in terms of penalties. My other big takeaway from the second watch, of all the players on the Niners, the guy who I would least want to try to play football against, Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah,
he's coming for you.
He's nasty.
He'll tackle you by the neck. He's going to hit you high. He's going to hit you low. The guy comes like an absolute missile with bad intentions. Bad football intentions. I'm sure he's a swell guy, but I watch 57, and the way he rolls up on people and just throws his body at the ball carrier, that dude is something else.
Yeah. There's no two ways about it.
Because Fred is great. I'm not taking away from Fred, friend of the program.
Yeah.
I mean, we go way back to last Friday, but
for a few minutes.
Greenlaw plays with that extra edge.